So, you might want to, at some point in your life, rethink some old things that you've done in a new and better way, and you might not want to do a load of extra work. So, those are two things we're going to address in this video. So, this is an old thing that I made. You probably recognize this from some of the earlier videos. And it's using the old drums, which are really flat and a bit lame. So, I've spent a bit of time over the last however long sorting out my setup and how I want things to be done, and this is obviously a very sparse track, but it's got in it all the MIDI information that I'd like to keep. Like all of this bit is done, so we want to keep this work, but we want to bring it up to date with how we're mixing. So it's easy enough done. We looked at in a previous video how to retrack things. So I'm going to open up another instance of Ardour, and this is where I'm going to show you the cool trick. So let's just get a new one, and then we want to do a new session, and we'll new from template, and I'm going to go with template 1.6 because it's the most up to date, and we're going to call the session name Re-FS, so because it was a freestyle thing that I did. So yeah, just Re-FS, Freestyle. There you go. That'll do for a name. So let's open that up. Now, what you're going to see is something pretty cool. Once it opens, loads of stuff is already here. Behold. What's this? Including, it seems, some MIDI things. Do I want? Oh wait, no, it's just alright, I see. Okay, yeah, so loads of tracks already ready, which is great. Now what I've done is I've done a few, let's get the mixer up. I've done a few things with the drums to make them, some of it I've undone, but basically if we look at where the Red Zeppelin kit is, that's the track for it. It's got each of the, it's because we're using the multi, the Red Zeppelin multi. It's each drum has got its own track, which I've put some compressors on a few of them, and some pan rules on some of the other bits just to spread it in the stereo. And on then what I've done as well, if we look at the routing, that shouldn't be there. It's not quite big enough. Right, there we go. Right, so we can see that this drum kit is actually feeding all of these individual tracks that we've got here. And then what's happening from there is oh, I want my mixer. What's happening from there is the each of these tracks I've now got routed to their own buses, which what that does is allows me to split the track in half, basically, between left and right, which means I can, so if I look at the kick here, for example, I've got kick left and kick right, and I've put a limiter on this one, and I've not done anything to this one. Well, I did, but I turned it off. So at the moment, it's just going straight through. So what that means is that each side of the kick's waveform is slightly different. And if I just show you, so what we'll do first is we'll retrack this from one to the other. So Carla helps us out there, because rather than having to use any internal routing grids, we can just literally drag wires around. Oh my life, it is a bit messy when there's two instances of Ardour going, I'm not going to lie. But all we really care about is getting the MIDI information from those tracks into these tracks. Okay, we want the Yoshimi to Yoshimi. Now these are tracks that I already set up based on the tracks from previous projects into this one setup that I'm now using, which sort of amalgamates everything together. So the E piano goes to the E piano, and the drums goes to Red Zeppelin drums. Yeah, I think that's what we need. So what we need to do is arm the tracks in the new one. Red Zeppelin. We haven't got hydrogen running in this instance. We don't need the native audio. The MDA E piano and the Yoshimi. Oh no, we don't want calf monosynth for a little minute. Where's Yoshimi? There. Okay. I think that's all of the MIDI information we need, so we can set that on thing. Record even, and go back to the beginning on this one. Now, if I hit play, right, it didn't quite stop. Right, it didn't quite do it because I forgot one thing. This one should be on jack, and then it should start at the same time as the other one. My mistake, but there you go. Always make sure you've got your clocks set up properly. You can change them. You can have the jack clock or any of these other clocks if you want. I'm using the jack clock because it's easier. Right, so arm to record again. Go back to the beginning again. Still not doing it, eh? Oh wait, it does. Just not showing me. Okay. Oh right, I see why. My mistake. Okay, so there we go. We're now getting basically the old MIDI information into the new project, which will just take a little minute. So that's got that MIDI information. So now, so what I'm going to do actually, let's go back to Ardour quickly, the session we were just using. Go back to internal clock on there so we don't accidentally start playing. And I'm going to leave that at the end as well. Because what I want to do is I want to listen to the two different projects and we're going to compare the differences in the drums. I don't want this mixer. It's my fan on my computer kicking in. I need to get a new bearing for that. It's very loud sometimes. This is we need to go into Carla and disconnect that from that. Right, so now we should just have audio coming out of that normally. So, right, listen to the difference in the drums. scope on there. Actually, let's just do it listening. Okay, so now let's listen to this one. Can you hear the difference? See, this one's a lot flatter. And that's just using the ordinary thing that we used in the past, the Red Zeppelin plugin, without the multi and without having done anything to any of the tracks on it. So it's just really like as is and flat, which is alright for like a sketch as this was, but like when you want to tidy it up a bit. And I'm not saying that I've mixed these drums amazingly. What I'm saying is that they're a lot better than that other one, as you can probably tell. So, yeah, so that's a good thing. A good thing about this as well, I don't need that old one open now, so thank you, but you can disappear. Quit Ardour. Okay. I had a horrible thought I hadn't started recording then. So, yeah. This is Ardour's not the only one that you can use templates for. So we started this track like immediately that I'd been building iteratively, and it just got us straight away to this condition now where if we now look at what the drums are actually doing, you can see I've got a nice spread in the stereoscope of like, it just makes it easier to listen to, less boxed in, I suppose. But yeah, Carla can do it too. So let's for example open up hydrogen. If I can get a hydrogen. Sounds slightly different because something went wrong with one of the tracks. I need to nudge it back round because this is a new version of it. But yeah, that's basically the same thing. So what if I now, I've got hydrogen set up there. If I now go to File, Open, and I want to do the template 1.6. Do you see there? A lot of stuff that I'd already had set up in a previous project just turned up. All these plugins here. So we can have a look at our rack, see what they are. They are the BBC meter, and that's connected to the microphone, so you can see obviously it's picking up my voice. And there's another 2 BBC meters for 2 bass tracks. One's a bass track that comes from my amp that's been EQ'd and has effects on it, and one is the direct raw signal, and I've got both of them that I can now record at the same time. I'll talk about that in the next video, but that's using isolators and stuff. But yeah, that's basically what I wanted to show you. These programs can be fiddly to set up, and you can feel like you've put a lot of extra work in that you've lost, but actually I'll show you how to make a template, because it's really simple. In Ardour, once you've got all your tracks set up the way you want them, and I think I'm going to probably make this template, or a template based on this setup, available so you can have a look at it, see how I've done all my routing and stuff, and just poke around and see what does what. But basically, all you need to do is go to where is it? Save template, and it will literally, you could call it anything you want. Let's call this one refs. It's exactly the same as the 1.6, but you now there's a template called refs. So that will open up all of, when I create a new project from that template, all of the plugins, all of the track setup that I've already done will already be there. So you can, because you can lose hours into doing stuff like that, and it's good that you can keep it and you don't have to do it again each time. So you want to take advantage of the templating situation, both in Ardour and in Carla, because you can have whole advanced setups ready. Now the reason these ones aren't connected to anything is because I was using them to filter out particular MIDI notes from the drum kit and feed the calf mono synth. I might show you that at some point, but it's a good thing. Actually, this was a cool thing to learn. You can come on, show me the settings. There it is. Yeah, you can filter out a note, or you can do bypassing or include or exclude range. I've excluded a range of 1 to get just rid of one note, but then the other ones, they're all set up for different notes too. It's so that like I could filter out the hi-hat and not have it coming through to the calf mono synth, and then I could drive the mono synth with the drums. But anyway, that will be in the next video. But for now, I just wanted to talk about these templates and how they can make you have an easy life. Now, I'll make the Ardour one available. I don't know if I can really make the Carla one available because I've got a different hardware set up, so I'll have different devices than you. I suppose I'll have the same file if you're using this. Well, this, but how is it? Anyway, yeah, I'll make it available. You can have an experiment with it. But yeah, use the templates. It will make you have an easier life. Anyway, cheers.